Good afternoon, I'm David Jackson and I'd like to welcome you to my videos, The Spirit World. Today, what we're going to be talking about is my first visit to a spiritualist church. When I was middle-aged, I had somebody who was pretty young die suddenly. And after the funeral, we were grieving and we were looking for, if the word is right, peace and a reason. So I decided to visit the local spiritualist church. At that time, I'd always thought that the spiritualist church was for middle class people, not for working class people. I don't even know why I thought this. Anyway, I found out the address of the local spiritualist church and when it would be open, which was on a Saturday evening. So I went down and I went to visit the church, and I had no idea what I was going to come across. Anyway, it's only a small church, and as I went towards the entrance, there was a large gentleman that stood there. At this time of year, it was dark, it was cold. I thought, I recognise him. And then when I got up to him, I remember it was an ex-Hells Angel. The first time I came across him was when I was only about 16 and went pub and I went to the toilet, and what happened is the ex-Hells Angel was stood out on the way at the toilet and somebody tried to just push him, and just nudged him and had a bit too drink. This Hells Angel, this guy, had thumped this kid for out. He was a very violent, strong person. But it was okay to talk to. I got to know him a little bit before things moved on. He's the last person at that time I would have ever thought would go to a spiritualist church. Anyway, I said hello and he said hello to me, and I went inside, and people stood just stood in rows, sat in rows, whatever. Organists were sat at their organ. And as I looked round, I thought, that's strange. And I looked around, and the Wilkinsons there. They'd come from a rough area, and they'd all been in trouble, in and out to prisons, and very poor, and all these different things. There were Joneses, another big family that had been very poor and in trouble. And there were Bulmers, and other groups of people I actually recognised from being very younger. The last type of people I would ever have expected to be at a spiritualist church, and they'd changed so much. Anyway, I stood in line with the people, as you do, like it does in a church. There was service took place, and we sang hymns. The atmosphere was very relaxed, and at the end of the service, a collection box went round, and the person who was giving the service said, only put into the box what you can afford, because some people was very poor. And that is what happened. Anyway, after the money box had gone round, and it was time for the mediums to take the stage. Well, there was two mediums went up on stage, and these two people were trainee mediums. I didn't even know they had trainee mediums, but they do. And I got a message through straight away, and it was to do with a young person, my young relative, that suddenly died. A description of this relative, which was spot on. The medium was feeling very emotional, and I felt calm and peaceful after I was giving that short message. Anyway, the medium went on and gave other messages out to people in the audience, and as it ended, the medium came over to me and said, The energy from that young spirit was very, very strong. And I didn't realise at that time that spirit, the person, oh, I won't name because I don't like to, would always be within the family, watching over the family. And we'll talk about that another day. And after the meeting was finished, we short break with a coffee. And then it was time for the circle where they do the spiritual medium training. But we will come to that in our next video. That's all from me, David Jackson, from the Spirit World. Good day.